Snow on the mountains, but the sun is shining high. Thanks for being with us at the Ridge Motorsports Park. This is MotoAmerica Superbikes at the Ridge. Just outside of Shelton in Washington State, Michael Hill in the commentary box for this one, the SC Project Twins Cup Race 2. Alongside me is Roger Hayden. The third member of our broadcast team, Steve English, is making his way down to the grid. We'll be heading down to him in a few minutes' time. Roger, it has already been a cracking day of action with the various warm-up sessions, some great races as well, and we know when the lights go out for the Twins Cup, it never disappoints. It didn't yesterday, and I'm sure it won't today.
Yeah, and there was a lot of action in that whole race yesterday. A couple guys going down with the track temperature rising up. It's going to be interesting to see. We'll look at the highlights in a second, but who can step up and try to find some pace and go with Alessandro Di Mario?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll talk a little bit about the podium from yesterday, but all eyes yesterday were on Alessandro Di Mario. Let's have a look at what happened in race one. This was what happened yesterday here at the Ridge.
Yeah, just a great start for Alessandro from pole position there with a really good lap there in low 46. Let's see Matthew Chapin aggressive down into turn one. Everybody's trying to make it through this chicane off the start, and they were able to do that. You see Levy Batty, Dominic Doyle, Sean Unbarski, Avery Dreyer was up there. Isaac Woodward unfortunately had a mechanical, pulled off, was out of the race from that point on. And now you see Dominic Doyle, he's starting to run into some problems there, shaking his head a little bit. Then Avery Dreyer has his problem. He crashes there and able to get back up. Dominic Doyle, you can see there on the Yamaha shaking his head there. The bike was intermitting, having some problems, and then now Sean Unbarski crashes as well, picks his bike back up, fights hard to get back in the race, and here was the battle for second and third. Levy Batty, great move there on the brakes there, able to make the move, but look at Matthew Chapin able to fight back, and Levy on that last lap. Such a good pass, and Alessandro Di Mario just putting down some really impressive lap times, able to pull out to about a 12-second victory.
Yeah, dominant performance by the defending champion. A monster wheelie to celebrate. As you said, some hard moves from Levy Batty, who, when there wasn't room, he made room, Roger. And this is what it's done to our championship here. It is a commanding 28-point lead now for Alessandro Di Mario. Whatever happens today, Roger, Di Mario will lead the championship. Dominic Doyle in third. We'll talk a little bit about Dominic in a second because he's got his own troubles with this one. And Levy Batty now up to fourth in the standings.
Yeah, and Levy had a great race yesterday, I think, for him. He's qualified well this weekend. He's been really fast. We'll see what he can do today, if he can get a good start, and see if he can, do the lap times Alessandro's able to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Steve, of course, as we are just summarising about what happened yesterday, Twins Cup never disappoints. It was a bit of a lonely race for Di Mario. Aggressive moves from Levy Batty and a couple of riders, as we pointed out, Sean and Varsky, Avery Dreyer, two that spring to mind. They're going to have to make amends today.
Yeah, I'm down here in the second row of the grid, and Hank Vasberg finished inside the top 5 yesterday, and we're going to get a chance just to hear his thoughts coming into this 12-lap race. And Hank, a really good performance yesterday to come away with that 4th place finish. How do you feel coming into this weekend?
Really good. It's my first time here, but we had a lot of time on the bike, so yeah, feeling really confident. Made some changes overnight, and they weren't really well this morning in warm-up, so we're going to try and get a better start than yesterday, not get swallowed up right away. Yeah, just trying to stick with the front kind of group, and we'll be there.
We saw yesterday it was a lonely race, but you were able to lap consistently and come away with that 4th place finish. Where do you think you're able to find that bit of time now today to be able to be a little bit closer to the podium?
Probably in the first sector. I felt really good in the last 2, and just the first turn mostly. Yeah, just got to brake a little later, but yeah, if I can latch on to the first little group, I know Alessandro's going to break away, but if I can be there for that, yeah, that's end goal.
Thanks, Hank, and best of luck for this one.
Thank you.
We're just going to go down and speak to the 5th place finisher yesterday as well, Seth Dahmer, and really good performance by Seth in yesterday's race as well. And Seth, a really good effort in yesterday's race to come away with that top 5 finish. How are you feeling on the Suzuki?
I'm feeling really good this weekend, and I hope I can really push this thing and get on the podium today to prove on yesterday's result. Just
from yesterday into this morning, what was the steps you were able to make?
Yesterday, I was able to do a 49 yesterday, and I think we got a 48 in us today.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
And Mike, obviously for Seth and for Hank coming away with those top 5 finishes yesterday, they'll just be trying to close up a little bit on that podium battle, but good consistent performance from them yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely, fully agree. Sean and Varsky there with the, well, they're very suspect. He'll argue with us, of course, and say that they're very on-brand, fashionable. I couldn't pull those off, Roger. I don't think I haven't got the head for it. But on the front row of the grid there, as we can see, Ella Dreyer, that's the young lady there holding the umbrella for her brother, who just walks off. That's Avery. Well, that's a nice little hop, skip, and a jump over the pit wall for a little comfort break. Spoke to him yesterday. He was more disappointed that he crashed than with the jump start. The jump start, he said, these things happen. It was minimal. We would have still had a good result. The mistake he made was obviously the reason that he crashed, and that's what concerned him more. Yeah,
just the mistake and the losing the points, and also all the time, getting those laps and up at race speed.
Alessandro Di Mario, his mum there, holding the umbrella. Dad Luigi not here this weekend, but obviously very proud. And then we go to the back of the grid, Roger, and it's all drama, really, for Dominic Doyle. He has had a penalty for starting, or rather, should I say, for the mechanics not removing the laptop, the computer, from the machine in time. That results in a back-of-the-grid penalty. And, Steve, I think you've made your way down there. This is going to be a tall order for Dom.
Dominic Doyle here on the back of the grid after your penalty yesterday. You were able to finish inside the top 6 in race 1, but a big challenge now and a very different challenge.
Yeah, for sure. Just dropped back to 6. I was facing a couple of electronics problems on the back. Today's obviously not ideal. I'm just going to try and get a good start and hopefully make up as many positions as I can going into turn 1, and then just try and pick the rest off the whole race and just see how far I can get.
The good thing is you at least know what the tyres are going to be like the whole way through this race. What's the choice going to be out there?
We're on a 3. It's a little harder today, so those early laps I'm just going to try and just get as many people as I can and try not to let those front guys get a gap.
Thanks, Dom. Best luck.
Thanks, Steve.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. Thanks to Dominic Doyle and Roger, as we take a look then at the 104 Maverick Sia. This is his first time racing with us in MotoAmerica from Canada. It's his local track, or as local as it can get, and 18 points already in the championship. So this is his first time riding here at the Ridge, just to correct myself. I wonder what he's listening to, Roger, but a really good performance from this young kid.
Yeah, really good. Top 10 yesterday for his first race is really impressive. And the most important part, logging all the laps and being able to see the checker flag. That's so important when you're a young guy, to get out there and get these races under your belt.
Yeah, and obviously you see there he's just got his eyes closed, visualizing. That's something you used to do on the grid, just getting yourself in the zone.
That's it, just trying to lock in. You go from sitting around all day to, you're about to go racing, so it's hard to kind of get in that zone, and everybody's got something different. Some riders like to listen to music. You see some riders out there joking and cutting up. I think everybody just kind of gets in their own little... They're super nervous. This is when the nerves kick in, because you're thinking about the changes, and you're like, man, I hope I get through the chicane off the start. So really, you're trying to do anything you can to try to get this to speed up.
Yeah, absolutely. You could hear there from our Audio Technica mics, somebody just talking across him. Remember to breathe. Remember to breathe. There is the 58 of Logan Cunnison. We've talked about him more than once this season. A really talented young rider. He had his own issues yesterday, intermittent problems as well on the Aprilia RS 660. Spoke to Ryan Snooks, and as I said, we would have expected, Roger, for young Logan to be a bit further up yesterday, but he had some technical issues. All he's got to do now is forget those, put it forward. They've rebuilt the bike, ready to go. Yeah, and that's the thing. That's going to happen in racing. You're going to come into issues, and you're going to have to be able to bounce back, and unfortunately kind of messes up your first race. It's a great thing about having 2 races on a weekend. You're able to rebound and still try to get a good result. Yeah, very distinctive livery there. That's his brother holding the umbrella. There's Matthew Chapin, who did a great job yesterday. That's his mum holding the umbrella for him. Did a great job, did he? Second row up into second place from the start. Really strong, really aggressive. Didn't really make too many mistakes. No, and moving up the Twins Cup, is really difficult. And Matt's did a great job, and he is really impressive when somebody passes him. He fights right back. So he's really good at defending, but also going back on offense when he needs to. Yeah, just alongside Matthew on the grid there, you see the 48. That is Sean and Varsky, his first weekend on the Suzuki. And he, I think, potentially will be in that group, won't he? He's knocking on the door of a podium, as we see just ahead there. That's the Cairns performance team. That's going to be Levy Baddy, and as we said, a very aggressive rider from Belgium. There he is. His mum, Connie, we heard yesterday from Dave, his dad, and Connie, his mum, has flown in, and they're actually going on a family holiday after this. They're going to road trip it from here down or up. I'm not sure which way it is to to Laguna Seca, and that's going to be a big support. And there is Avery now back on the bike. I'm expecting some big things from this kid today.
Yeah, and just a disappointing race yesterday. It's just great to see Avery able to get back out, and it doesn't matter. It's his third brand of the year, but it doesn't matter what brand he shows up, and he finds himself at the front.
Yeah, of course, his debut, of course, with Suzuki in the last round. Got the win there, and unfortunately a couple of crashes. There's the smile of Sean Unvarsky. As I said, if you are familiar with the Twins Cup, Roger and I have talked about this rider more than once over the last 4 or 5 years. He had a couple of years away, Roger, as we've talked about before, for people that maybe don't know the story, and just had to kind of reinvent himself and just, I guess, decide whether you want to make this a career or whether you want to make a go of it. He decided he wants to come back, and he's come back, I think, stronger than when he left.
Yeah, and you can tell he's putting a lot of effort into it, and sometimes you need that. You need that mental break to kind of get away and, you know, realize how much you miss it and then fight back.
The 131 of Hank Vosberg, a very impressive ride yesterday. He's a rider in the Talent Cup. This is a big step, a big opportunity for Hank. Teammates with DeMario, and as we heard him saying, they expect, or he expects, Alessandro DeMario to romp away with it. And really, Roger, you can't really argue with that. About to get started to the warm-up lap, and of course this is all really just the last opportunity now. Just check that everything's okay on the bike, make sure you're comfortable, and then we go racing.
SC Project Twins Cup is brought to you by SC Project, builders of world champion exhaust systems. And by Dunlop, the official tire of the MotoAmerica Championship Series.
Yeah, look, that's caught me by surprise that there. It's a pretty cool way of earning tips. And let's have a look at our track map here at the Ridge Motorsports Park. The warm-up lap, if you're just joining us for the SC Project Twins Cup. And Roger, this is such a fun facility.
Yeah, fun track, especially on one of these Twins Cup bikes there. It's so important off the start. We've talked a lot about getting through that chicane clean, and from there there's a lot of elevation all the way down to turn 7, which is really tricky. Seen a couple passes yesterday on that run from turn 9 into 11, and then the next best passing opportunities down into turn 13. Down the hill, the left-hander there in 15 onto the front straightaway.
Yeah, circuit, one of the newest circuits on our calendar, 2011, just under 2.5 miles. Let's have a look at the grid then. It's the same as it was for yesterday's race. If you weren't with us, this is how it looks. Alessandro DeMario, the reigning champion, will start on the front row alongside him, Levi Baddy and Avery Dreyer.
And you got Matthew Chapin, Sean Unvarsky, and Hank Vosberg.
Great ride yesterday from Vosberg. Kunnison heads row 7, ahead of Woodworth and Dahmer.
Maverick Sear, Romeo Chiavini, and Andrew Wade.
Yeah, Andrew Wade looking for another top 10. Zachary Foster heads row 5.
It's great to see Mallory Dobbs back out today, and Solly Mervis.
Yeah, Solly Mervis, his first ride in the series. Kevin O'Neill, Flores, and Ryan Wolf, who had his own issues yesterday. Rodney Vest, John McKenzie, Dominic Doyle at the back of the grid. As this grid then forms up, we don't have too much time, but I know that Steve is still down there, and it's getting toasty.
It is getting toasty down here, Mike. It's 43 degrees track temperature, so 5 degrees hotter than we had in yesterday's race. Just speaking to Dunlop, they feel that the 3 rear tyre is still going to be the option of choice out there, Rog.
And I think with the track temperature up too, that's where you got to kind of lean on the Dunlop engineers whenever, you know, you're trying to get all that data and what's the trends they're seeing in the other classes.
Absolutely, 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Then there's very little wind. It is very, very hot. We have on the front row, as Ryan Wolf goes through, front row DeMario, front row Baddy, Andrea, and there on the back row, the South African, Dominic Doyle. No stranger to the podium, no stranger to the win. Scott Paget has the honour in a moment when everybody is set of moving to the pit lane. He gets out of the way. Pretty sharpish, Roger. You don't want to hang around as this full grid of Twins Cup riders is about to head down towards turn 1. How quickly can Dominic Doyle go forward? Let's hope we don't have any carnage at turn 1. Lights are out. It's another good start from the front row of the grid. All three moving pretty much at the same sort of time as they head down towards turn 1, and around the outside is that Unvarsky. It is. What a cracking start from Sean Unvarsky. Dominic Doyle is already up to the midway pack. Yeah. That's a cracking start from Dom.
That was a great start. We see a crash outside of the chicane. You don't see that a lot. It's usually going in. Looks like it's Matthew Chapin there, one of the riders down.
Yeah, couple of riders down there. Looks like Chapin is now running to try to get the bike in case we do have a red flag. And tell you what, his heart rate is up. He can run fast in those leathers, can't he? And it is, it's Seth Dahmer. Seth Dahmer that has gone down. There's obviously been some contact. The good news, Roger, is that both riders are moving, and Chapin there can just see, he knows that that is a potential podium out of his reach. At the front, though, this race continues with the race leader, DeMario, and wow, it looks like he's already got a 2 or 3 second lead already.
Huge lead already.
Massive advantage here, and of course we didn't see that whole happened in real time, but look at the advantage. There's also a big gap between our second and third. This has really split the field, and Chapin is out of this one. There's going to be no podium. Seth Dahmer walks away. Great job by the marshals. We should give kudos to all of our track marshals, not just here but at all of our circuits. We don't have a red flag. This race is running, and it's DeMario in the lead. Who is that in second? It is Unvarsky, and is that Dreyer? I think it is, in third place.
Great job by Matthew Chapin also to help those corner workers get his bike off track. But this opens up an opportunity now for Sean Unvarsky to maybe get on the podium, or Avery Dreyer's been fast all weekend also.
Yeah, Dreyer, as I said, disappointed with the crash yesterday. Now he has a chance to make amends. I wonder, as we look back into 5th place, it looks like here's a replay, Roger.
Yeah, just look at the orange bike there. Just looks like it had a mistake, and Seth Dahmer just had nowhere to go, unfortunately for him. He got caught up in another rider's mistake, but that's what happens. Everybody's fighting for a position there early on in this race.
Yeah, and I don't know if you remember, I think there was a Moto3 race years ago where Jakob Kornfein, he bunny hopped the bike. That was the same situation.
It looks like Matt got into the back and maybe Sean Unvarsky.
Yeah, that's what it looked like, didn't it? As there is a move there from Dreyer on the right-hand side of the picture. Chapin despondent. That's all part of racing, as there's a big front-end wobble there from Unvarsky. Unvarsky we've talked about so much since his return to the championship last year, and another full season this year. We've said it before, it's only a matter of time before this kid gets on the podium. We won't put any commentator curse on him, but it's looking good at the moment for Unvarsky. He just needs to stay calm now.
Yeah, he just needs to latch on to Avery. You know, sometimes it's a little easier to follow somebody now, just try to pace himself with Avery. See if he can't pull away from Hank Vosberg there in 4th.
It looks as though Logan Kunnison has had a good start as well. He's there in 5th. Isaac Woodworth. And Dominic Doyle is out. Well, Dominic Doyle, who made such a great start from the back of the grid, it goes from bad to worse. He'd already passed half the field, and he is now out, Roger. This is just a weekend to forget. Yeah,
just a disappointing weekend for Dominic, and, you know, unfortunately for a rider, that's definitely really frustrating, but sometimes that's the way it goes.
Fastest lap of the race from a standing start of 49.8. This is certainly going to be quicker than that for the race leader. It's already a 4.3 second lead. That's going to be over 5 seconds by the time we get back at the end of lap number 2. Avery Dreyer now in what is looking like a comfortable 2nd place, but keep your eyes on that battle behind. You've got Vosberg, Kunnison, Woodworth, and I was going to say you've got Beatty, but you don't. Down has gone Levy Baddy. The engine's still running.
Yeah, trying to make up, lost some spots earlier in the race from the carnage out of that chicane, and was working hard to try to recover some spots.
Well, yesterday it was a race of attrition. We thought it was going to be a bit calmer today, and it is not. More riders on the floor. There is Vosberg. This is a cracking ride. Here's a replay.
Yeah, just down into turn 13, hard on the brakes.
Oh, 2 teammates colliding as well there. Isaac Woodworth very, very nearly a passenger in that, and that's just a typical crash there.
Yeah, down into turn 13. You're hard on the brakes. You're trying to make a move. The race is going by quick. Just a mistake by Levy.
Alessandro DeMario with a 46.0. Roger, and I know you've got your eyes all over the records as looking on the inside, looking for a podium spot here. And Varsky now under real pressure. Vosberg is trying to force his way through. That is a great move. I remind you, ladies and gents, that Vosberg, the 131, this is only his 2nd race on a Twins Cup bike.
And right behind them, Logan Kunnison is closing down in this group. In that last lap, Alessandro DeMario with not only a race record, but an outright track record with the 46.0.
Wow, and after just 2 flying laps, he has a 7.6 second lead. Roger, that is unheard of in racing. And you're absolutely right, this yellow bike that is now coming into the picture, we talked about him before this race started. He had his own issues yesterday. They've worked hard to fix this bike. And Logan Kunnison just reminding us, hey, don't forget me. I'm in for the fight here too.
And Tristan Morrison, look, right there. I mean, this battle for 3rd, 4th, 5th is really starting to close up, as Avery, though, is able to kind of pull away and separate himself from this group.
Isaac Woodworth, there is Matthew Chapin still with the helmet on. It's just taken him a while just to gather his thoughts, I think.
Yeah, that's a hard crash, and you can see the frustration, and you know, sometimes it's tough to accept, but he'll learn from that, and you know, that's just, those mistakes are part of it.
Yeah, I'm glad to see they only threw the gloves. That would have been an expensive crash if you'd have held the helmet. Avery Dreyer looking a lot better today than yesterday.
Yeah, looking really good, and for Avery now, he needs to kind of look at his pit board, and he's not going to be able to catch Alessandro, but he needs to keep that gap consistent to Hank Vosberg, where Hank can get that momentum and catch him.
Yeah, and Varsky has been overtaken by Vosberg, and Varsky himself now coming under pressure as we continue to watch Avery Dreyer. There is Vosberg, there is the yellow bike of Kunnison, and you rightly said the 125 Treston Morrison, by far and away his best performance in the championship. Just the 15-year-old. I met him in the paddock yesterday. He was wearing some checkered flag trousers, looked the part, really nice kid, and was talking about just how much he's enjoying being part of the series. Done a lot of club racing, just 15 years of age, and he said he's just loving the fact that this Twins Cup project has just given him an opportunity to race in MotoAmerica, and that's what it's all about as Kunnison now latches on to Varsky.
Hank Vosberg, I mean, how impressive is this right now, running inside the top three? And he has approached this weekend, you know, first time here, but slowly getting better. Not trying to go out and do too much early on. Every session, he just moved up a couple spots. Every race, he's moved up a couple spots. Now he's found himself here in the podium battle.
Yeah, and of course, I think if we'd have asked Hank Vosberg at the beginning of the weekend, what would you expect? I think he would have said, if I can get a couple of top sixes. But to come away with a fourth and a potential podium spot, that is amazing. There is the sister and family of Avery Dreyer. 47.3 on that lap. Let's keep our eyes on Dreyer to see whether or not that gap is coming down or whether it is stabilizing. 49, now it's going up. It's 11.6 seconds now at the end of lap number 4. There is Kunnison having a look on the inside, and Treston Morrison is not a million miles away here. This could be a top 5 or even a top 4 for the young 15-year-old.
And for Logan, if he wants to try to fight for that podium, he needs to make this move pretty quick, because Hank has got a little bit of a gap on him.
Keeping our eyes on the timing screens as well. Vosberg on the last lap a little bit quicker than Avery Dreyer. Tell you what, if this was a 1-2 for the Robum engineering team, as a thought for a second there, Logan Kunnison was thinking about going around the outside. He now switches back to the inside. He's going to have a look here, Roger.
Just not close enough. Able to shine on the outside, able to release the brakes. But for Logan, he can kind of think about that spot. Now he's going to try to go around the outside. Really tough place to pass right through there.
Again, very different riding styles, different stature of the riders as well. And Varsky just under 6 feet tall, quite a tall rider. Kunnison in comparison a lot smaller. And you can see there he keeps his body weight over the bike. He's got a really nice little style here, hasn't he, as Kunnison. And again, he gets the corner speed there. There's not really much room to pass, but he thought about it.
Yeah, and might try to go under here, enter a little bit wider, but now he's working on that drive. You see Logan, and when he enters wider, he's trying to work on that drive. And for Logan, he's in a great spot. He's been able to follow, and he knows where he's stronger, and he's going to take his shot before long.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just a matter of time. We're hearing through our headsets that Ryan Wolf, who scored a couple of points yesterday, has got a technical problem. He is okay. He has stopped at turn 4 as Kunnison there just got sucked in a little bit into turn 13.
Yeah, it looks like he was going to try to maybe make the pass and then thought better of it. But now Logan just has to calm down and do that work all over again. But man, this guy Alessandro Di Mario, you can't say enough about the pace he's had this weekend. And Hank Vosberg is actually catching Avery Dreyer.
Yeah, Vosberg is closing in another half a second on that lap, but you can see from that wide shot there, thanks to MotoAmerica camera crew for giving us that, not just the length of the straight, he's gone through that chicane, he's already into turn 3 before we see Dreyer and Vosberg, and a little bit of a reprieve here for Sean and Varsky, who has just opened up a 3 or 4 bike. I tell you what, Kunnison is quick there though, he carries a lot of corner speed. Look at the gap that he's pulling in here through turn 3 and 4, just allowing the bike to roll, and that's what you need on these bikes. Dreyer in second place, and Vosberg will be learning a lot here.
Huge opportunity and so much learning now being in this podium battle. That first sector, he actually lost a couple tenths, so we're going to be able to see on this lap where Hank is, if he can be better in the middle or the third sector.
Still your race leader if you're just joining us, Michael Hill, Roger Hayden, Steve English, bringing you all the coverage on MotoAmerica Live Plus. This is our runaway race leader, the leader of the championship, the winner yesterday, by 11 seconds. He's 12.7 seconds in the lead. Helped a little bit in the early stages, you have to say, by that incident at turn 1, but nevertheless, this is an absolute masterclass from DeMario.
Yeah, this is a dominating performance. Looks like Avery's kind of responded a little bit this lap, but Hank just keeps inching up a couple tenths.
This is the battle for 4th between Unvarsky and Kunnison, and I'm just keeping my eyes in the back of the pitch because there's a third bike about to join this fight, and that is the young 15-year-old Tristan Morrison, and he goes a bit wide. Maybe I'll just be quiet. Commentator's curse there as he outbrakes himself, but he manages to make the apex. He's coming, isn't he? He's coming as the 15-year-old, closing in on the 125. So we have 3 different manufacturers in the top 6, and for Tristan Morrison, a nice little accolade here for people that like the stats like I do. At the moment, he's the leading Yamaha.
And Hank Rosberg now another half a second quicker than Avery.
Through turns 3 and 4, another nice wide shot there. You can see this battle for 2nd and 3rd, and it's a 7-second gap then back to Unvarsky and Kunnison, and it's an Aprilia 1-2-3 at the moment. Unvarsky, the leading Suzuki, and you got to think for Sean, he's going to be happy with this. He's ridden different manufacturer at the start of the season. It's all about getting the laps in, and this is important mileage for Sean.
Yeah, this is a tough track to come to on a bike that you don't have a lot of laps on it for Sean, just because of the tight and technical and trying to get this thing set up.
Yeah, and again, we saw that it's now a 14-second lead, so Alessandro Di Maria already through that first chicane before we even catch sight of our 2nd and 3rd place battle. Kunnison still just in the wheel tracks there. It seems as though there's just different parts of the track here that either plays to the different rider characteristics or the bike characteristics as well.
Yeah, we see Logan here winding up. We see him trying to make this move a couple laps before. Is he going to be close enough? He's just not close enough to get his nose in there and make the pass, but as you mentioned, the rider in 6 is right there now.
Yeah, the rider in 6, though, we're just being informed, has a 1.8-second penalty for a track cut, and there's the move from Vosberg. It was coming, and he now moves into 2nd place. Oof, almost loses the front on as he goes down the waterfall. And Avery Dreyer, I'm not sure he would have expected the attack to come from a rider in only his 2nd race. Across the curb there, Dreyer trying to take as much, but a penalty for a track cut for the 125. He's still got enough of an advantage in 6th position, but if Tristan Morrison wants P4, he's not only got to pass Kunnison and Varsky, he's got to get 2 seconds clear.
Yeah, that's going to be a tall order, but for Tristan, no matter what happens, I think this is a great ride for him, and also we'll see what Avery Dreyer can do. Now it's his turn to kind of be the one to try to make the pass.
A little bit wide there. Big look over the shoulder from Logan Kunnison on that yellow Aprilia. So 3 different manufacturers here. Suzuki had to recorrect there, didn't he, Sean? Looks like he was a little bit offline, but manages to bring the bike back. But this is the part of the circuit, and again, cheeky little look on the inside there from Kunnison as we go back to this battle for 2nd place. Around turn 6, very different lines there from the 2 riders. A little bit of undulation on the brakes. Difficult braking area, this.
Very difficult right there because you're on the edge of the tire. We've seen a lot of accidents down in the turn 6.
Through turn 6.
Turn down into turn 8.
Yep, through 7 and 8, then into this little fast chicane. And you're kind of braking while you're on lean angle here. That's, again, not easy at all for an experienced rider, let alone these youngsters. Both of these bikes are the Aprilia RS 660, and we haven't talked about it much, but there will be a new World Championship next year, and it would be nice, Roger, to see some American representation in the new Sport Bike World Championship.
Yeah, it's going to be big, and this class should really help them out. We see Logan still trying to make the move. Sean Unvarsky just hasn't got close enough to make that pass stick.
Yeah, into the brakes again. Having a little look there is Tristan Morrison, the 15-year-old. He's really impressing me. He's had a solid season anyway, but this is the real first opportunity this season that we're seeing him on camera frequently. It's not a fluke in a qualifying session or anything like that. He's being very, very quick in every single session and doing a really, really good job. Again, if you are new to the championship, the Twins Cup, it was MotoAmerica, of course, back in 2017, 2018. They were the first domestic championship to really be the leaders in bringing this championship to the forefront. And domestic championships, Roger, worldwide have followed the lead of what MotoAmerica has done, and it's great to see.
Yeah, and watching Logan here, he almost gets a little too close at this part of and he has to stop. So, you know, maybe if he could lean back a couple more bike lengths as he comes through turn 2 and 3 and really get that run all the way through that whole section.
Oh, he's listening to you, Roger. Listening to you. Sorry to cut you off there, but that is. Have you got like a two-way radio between you as Sean and Varsky? I tell you what, Logan, I don't think these guys have raced each other this hard. He's gonna be a hard guy to pass, is Sean and Varsky. He's one of the most aggressive riders out there. I don't think he's going to do any dirty moves, but if there's a chance to close the door, and Varsky will. But yeah, Kunnison doing there pretty much word for word, as you said it, he did exactly that move.
Yeah, and Logan's also really fast through this, up over this hill. Just has not got close enough to be able to make the move. That's a tough pass in there. Maybe as the race winds down, he'll take the risk.
Yeah, if you are just joining us, it's Alessandro Di Mario with a 16-second lead. This is the battle for fourth between 3 different manufacturers, 3 very different riding styles. And 3 riders that are, of course, at very different stages of their career. I mean, we talk about Tristan Morrison being the rookie, Logan Kunnison still a rookie as well, a youngster, and Sean Unvarsky coming back after a couple of years off. Look at the lead, though, Roger. That is unbelievable.
Very impressive. Just his consistency as well, over a second a lap faster than the rest of these guys. And he just had a great weekend, bounced back from that crash he had in qualifying yesterday morning to really put in some good laps in the races.
And you know what? If we took Alessandro Di Mario out of the way, we'd be saying exactly the same thing about Vosberg and Dreyer, because they've got an equal gap back to Unvarsky and Kunnison. So to credit to Vosberg and Dreyer too. Those leading 3 riders really are in a class of their own. Here comes Maverick Sear. This is a nice little fight between him and Woodworth. Woodworth, of course, lucky not to be taken out by his teammates. And for Woodworth, really, this is just about getting some points on the board. It's been a tough weekend, a crash, technical issue. And he, of course, are looking for those 8 points. Looking for 20 points, though. What a dream podium this would be for Hank Vosberg if he can just hang on with 2.5 laps remaining. Dreyer, though, it seems, has regrouped here. He's got other ideas.
He's starting to look a little racy as this race is starting to wind down. But, you know, catching him and making the pass stick is 2 different things.
Yeah. Where do you think the best chance is then for Dreyer? Because, again, Vosberg doing a good job. Oh! And that is
Logan Kunnison and Sean Unvarsky.
Well, we said there was going to be a move. We didn't see that. Kunnison has gone down the bike. Yeah, that's not going anywhere. But, well, we saw that move, if it was going to come, it had to be a hard pass. And that to me, without speculating, they've come together in some way.
I think so. We're not sure exactly what happened, but, man, that looked like a big, fast crash. It's great to see both those riders get back up as we see the battle for second and third still going on.
And across the line we go then. Here's the replay.
See down into turn 8. See what happens here. Sean looks like it, yeah, they just Logan got in under him, thought about making the pass and just wasn't enough space, but unfortunately Logan Kunnison's bike went for quite the ride. Yeah, and Unvarsky would not have known what is going on now. We've got another rider on the floor. That's Andrew Way. He has gone down. The incident, of course, between Unvarsky and Kunnison will be reviewed, but if there is going to be any penalty, that's going to come in a future race. This is the battle, though, for second place. Tristan Morrison, in all of that, is guaranteeing himself 13 points. Maverick Sear is on for a career best in P5 as well, so some real nice stories up and down the grid. The story I'm interested in is who's going to get second. It's not over. You get the feeling that there's going to be a move coming here, and Tristan Morrison could potentially be there to pick up the pieces. 19-second lead, though, for Alessandro Di Mario. Hasn't put a wheel wrong other than that incident in qualifying. Nice graphic here from MotoAmerica, looking at the speeds. Different motorcycles, in fact 3 different manufacturers, all within 2 miles an hour. That just shows how close the bikes are here. As a lap and a half remaining. That's the 717 of Kevin O'Neill, currently running in 17th place, just behind Andrew Way, who has been pushed back now into 16th place. Round the final couple of corners then to start the final lap. Alessandro Di Mario has been unmatched, untroubled, unrivaled in all sessions here this weekend, and barring a mistake, Roger, he will be taking a maximum 50 points to the next round. Yeah, just what a strong weekend he's had, and the momentum he's got. Just from the very first lap of this weekend, he has had a gap on the rest of the field, and he's just continued to stretch it out.
DeMario then is through turns 3 and 4 over the crest. That bike just looks solid. They've done a good job of getting the bike set up. This is still the battle then for second place. Dreyer, though, with a bit better run there, Roger. He carries the momentum.
They're going to come into lap traffic on this lap.
Yeah, there are a couple of lap riders ahead, and Dreyer senses now his opportunity. A little bit wide there for Vosberg. He's never had to lap riders before. Here we go then around the outside. Vosberg is a little bit hesitant. Through on the inside. They both make it through. Hold your breath here, and again Vosberg is going to have to pick his moment. Oh, there's not much room. Do they both go through? They go either side, around the outside. Vosberg now goes tight, and that is going to allow Avery Dreyer to carry the momentum. This is a great battle for second place, Rog.
Yeah, and for Avery now, here's an opportunity in turn 8 to maybe try to do a high-low, go inside and try to cut under. But Hank does a great job blocking through there, and now it's up to Avery if he can get this run up over turn 9.
Yeah, Vosberg there a little bit slow in the middle of the corner, and that just maybe caught Avery Dreyer a little bit unawares. Up through turn 9 into turn 10, again a little bit wide now. The pressure, the heart rate for this youngster. I remind you, ladies and gentlemen, the 131 that we are talking about, this is only his second race. His teammate on the left-hand side of your screen, Alessandro De Mario, is going to extend his lead in the championship to well over 30 points. And here comes Vosberg, and here comes Dreyer. There's going to be a move, Roger.
Look at Hank, he's really blocking on the inside. It's going to be really making this corner turn 13 tight, but he did a great job getting that bike slowed down.
Yeah, and that, given that the youngster is just a teenager, that was great riding. Dreyer, though, I get the feeling is going to have a look, and Vosberg slams the door in his face. His maturity here belies his young, tender age as across the line we go. De Mario wins. Hank Vosberg, what a podium. A podium in only his second race. It's a Robum Engineering Aprilia 1-2. Dreyer in third position, and I'm sure we're going to get a look in a minute at Treston Morrison, the young 15-year-old. He wears some of the coolest looking checkered flag trousers in the paddock, and he's going to take a career best 4th place for Treston Morrison, top Yamaha to boot. Maverick Sear from Canada gets his best result, and we never mentioned him much, but Zach Foster in that 6th place. I talked to him during Mike on the mic. He gets 10 championship points. That, Roger, was a brilliant Twins Cup race sponsored by SC, and it never fails to disappoint. De Mario is your winner. Hank Vosberg, I cannot wait to hear what he stays in the Parc Ferme to Steve English. Dreyer gets redemption after a crash and a jump start yesterday with a podium. We're going to take a little moment away. We'll be right back.
SC Project Twins Cup is brought to you by SC Project, builders of world champion exhaust systems, and by Dunlop, the official tire of the MotoAmerica Championship Series.
Alessandro De Mario stopping at the wreckage as the two riders. A little nice bit of sportsmanship there. It looks as though both riders, Hank Vosberg on the left and De Mario, giving a lift back to Sean and Varsky and Logan Kunnison, and that's great to see that. He could be just celebrating when he wants to check on his mate. Are you okay? Is everything all right? That's really nice touch, that.
Yeah, and look at this race pace here on the left side of the screen, the 46.0, breaking the race and outright record, and from there he just cruised into the 47s, and then the last couple laps kind of brought it down, slowed down a little bit, but just impressive lap times.
Yeah, impressive lap times that gave Alessandro De Mario a 22nd win. I can't remember a winning margin that big in the Twins Cup project. I know that previously Rocco Landers has had some big wins, but I don't remember ever there being a 22nd win. I could be wrong, but we will check it. And good to see that Sean Varsky is okay. Logan Kunnison, of course, also getting a lift back with Avery Dreyer. So both riders are all right. A dramatic final couple of laps, Roger, but tell you what, we always say, don't miss the Twins Cup race. Go and get a cup of tea or a drink when the racing's on, but don't miss it. And I tell you what, it's another great race.
Great race, battles all the way throughout the pack, second and third. It's just the class is really competitive. We got some young riders that's moved up from Junior Cup in this class, and they're trying to make a name for themselves.
Yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head there as well, because we get such a mix of experiences, don't we? We get some riders that have, kind of, so we say, at the twilight of their career. They can learn so much from those guys. Riders coming in from club racing, as we've heard, and then these youngsters that really want to make their way into Superbike and MotoGP in the future. And it's such a great class, really good, as we saw already from that graphic. The crowd appreciative as well of a good race. And I've got to say as well, so many fans here this weekend. Good to see for the championship. Avery Dreyer down there, his sister Ella happy, of course. She's also going to be doing battle.
I didn't really have much confidence to push at the end. I could see that. I was happy about that.
Yeah, just saying he didn't have a lot of confidence at the end. It's nice to hear that from our Audio Technica mics, but he's going to be satisfied with that.
Yeah, get on the podium, and it's tough toward the end of the race whenever you're struggling like that and you want to gain that spot. But also, there's a lot to lose. There's a podium on the line.
Yeah, absolutely. As the bikes then are pushed back into position. Again, if you are new to MotoAmerica, you can join in our podium celebrations with all of our championship classes. The minute the races are finished, you can get down there and celebrate with the riders. And then following the podium, a lot of the riders do stick around to hand out autographs as well. But it's a win for DeMario, Vosberg, and Dreyer. That's your podium.
Zach Foster there, top 6. Isaac Woodworth, Nathan Aldridge.
Yeah, Jose Flores gets his best result of the season. And Romeo Chiavini, welcome back to the championship in 10th place. The Italian who did a full season last year, he is back. So again, you can see a mixture there of the different riders, Aprilia, Suzuki, and Yamaha. There is Alessandro De Mario. As I said, his father not with him this weekend, but I'm sure Luigi's going to have a big smile on his face watching from home. Just talking there to his teammate, and of course De Mario won't have realised what was going on behind him. So when he does come in and realises that Hank is on the podium, and they're good friends as well in the Talent Cup, so that's nice. When you come into the Park Firm and you know your buddy's had a good race as well, that just makes it even sweeter. Good to see that down there, the team doing a good job. Alessandro's mum gives him a hug. And she travels everywhere with him, doesn't she? Absolutely everywhere. Looks as though there is Mike Shannon. He is getting the podium into position. And I think in a few moments, Alessandro now moving down into position. I know that Steve English is down there. There he is, Steve. What a cracking race. And I'm sure we're going to get 3 very, very happy rider interviews. Down to you.
Yeah, great race down here in the Twins Cup, and a weekend you're not going to forget for a long time, Alessandro. Double race win, and then obviously out on the Supersport bike as well. This is something special.
Yeah, I want to thank the team. They put a bike together in like 2 hours yesterday after my crash, and so I'm really happy I got 2 wins. So, hopefully they're happy. And I also want to congratulate Hank. He's my teammate. He just turned 15 like a couple weeks ago, and he's here on the podium. So, he's really fast. So I just want to congratulate him, and like obviously all my sponsors, Dainese, KYT, Fastline, Sarah, Faraci, Moto Liberty, just Dunlop, just everybody that's helped me out. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Alec. Great job. And I think it's fair to say the team are going to be happy with that one. But Hank Vosberg, podium here and a great performance. But take us through that last lap. You come up on the lap traffic, and you've got to be able to keep a cool head.
Yeah, I seen that Avery was like just under a second behind me, so I tried to go a little slow, thinking he would pass me, because I knew I could maybe make a move into the rainfall, waterfall. But yeah, he was right on me. I think he was making wanting to make a pass into the waterfall, but stayed ahead, was consistent. The tire fell off at the end, had a couple moments, but we kept it good. Yeah, the whole Worldman team made an amazing bike. I can't give it up to them enough. Driving all the way out here, 26 hours. So it was amazing. Got to thank Akasato for the brand new master cylinder, and the rear brake worked amazing. NGK spark plugs, Millennium Technologies, Dainese for the new suit. Fits amazing. HAC helmets, love this helmet, and everyone else who made this happen.
Great job today, and great job this weekend. But Avery, we were able to see that last lap battle between yourself and Hank, and when he went defensive into 13, you knew that there wasn't going to be much chance to be able to come through, but down into that last couple of corners, you tried to attack again.
Yeah, well, first podium with the Buzz Cut, man, that's pretty cool, but I got to give a big shout out to these two. I wanted to run my own race, and the tires lasted pretty well towards the beginning, so I don't know what happened off the start. I hope everyone's okay. But man, third bike of the season. It's kind of hard switching back and forth. So I'm really happy with this. I just wanted to finish a race, but the plan was to try to go for a move on Hank the last lap, but he went pretty defensive. So I honestly just let him have it because I couldn't pass him in that last sector. So it was pretty tough. But I'm really stoked with P3 here at the Ridge. Yesterday was rough, so this is a good bounce back. But I want to give a big shout out to my rider coach Dale Quarterly for helping me get up here, Uncle John, Ronnie Vest for helping me get this ride, and my guy Brad for giving me the bike to ride. That helps a lot. So thank you.
Good job today.
Yeah, great interviews down there. And Roger, I guess it does help if you've got a bike. Otherwise you can't go racing. But cracking race that was. Great interviews as well. Let's have a look back then at the highlights from race. It was a cracking start from the front row of the grid. But then, Roger, all chaos ensued.
Just look at Matthew Chapin on the orange Suzuki there. You're going to see his rear end step out. And then Sean Unvarsky made a little mistake in front of him. He got into the back of him, and unfortunately for him, he went down. But look at this gap that gave Alessandro Di Mario from the very first lap. 3 to 4 second lead. See, Sean Unvarsky early on in this race had himself into second. Avery Dreyer was working on a pass on him as the race went on. You can see he's looking around the outside through here up over turn 3. Avery was so strong through there. Levy Batty mistake down into turn 13. Here we go now. Hank Vosberg going to try to make his way past Sean Unvarsky. Wasn't close enough, but in the middle of the corner, he's able to make the pass stick. And then next, he made his move on Avery Dreyer down into turn 13. These two were having their battle for 4th and 5th. Sean Unvarsky and Logan Cunnison going back and forth. They had a great battle. And then Logan, unfortunately, those two guys got together. Sean Unvarsky also going down as well. But Alessandro Di Mario, while all that carnage was going on behind him, out there breaking the track record, slowly pulling away to almost a 20-second lead.
Yeah, an incredible win for Di Mario. He even had time on the slowdown lap to pick up Sean Unvarsky. These are live shots of the podium. Avery Dreyer in that third position, Di Mario on the top step, and Hank Vosberg, as Steve said down there in the interview. What an impressive debut ride for Hank Vosberg. Let's have a look at the championship standings then, Roger. And it's Di Mario now, 53-point lead. Whatever happens at the next round, he's still going to lead that. So he might as well. He can have a weekend off.
Yeah. And Matthew, even with the DNF today, still has himself second in the points. Levy Batty there in 5th. Sean Unvarsky, that was a big points loss for him in 6th.
Yeah, and look who now has cropped up into 7th place. Treston Morrison into P7, the 15-year-old Cunnison, and Hank Vosberg, as you said, in 10th position. There's the mountains in the background. Let's have a look then at the rest of the schedule for the Twins Cup. They race again at WeatherTech Raceway in a couple of weeks, and then we pick things back up in Virginia. As things stand right now, if he continues, by the time we get to New Jersey, Di Mario could have the championship wrapped up. But there's a lot of racing still to go in the season. There's a lot of racing still to come. Stay with us on Live Plus.